Welcome back to NBC News Channel. Today, we will learn about the shocking developments unfolding in Salem that are about to turn everyone's world upside down, especially when a certain powerful attorney's twisted plan begins to reveal itself. Days of our live spoilers for the November 21, 2025 episode promise explosive confrontations, dangerous medical emergencies, and a sinister scientific experiment that could change the DiMera legacy forever. The DiMera Laboratory Secret. E.J. DiMera finds himself at the center of what appears to be the most elaborate and disturbing scheme Salem has witnessed in recent memory. His secret laboratory, which has been the subject of whispered speculation for weeks, is finally becoming operational and ready to conduct its first major experiment. The facility represents a massive investment of resources, money, and power, all channeled into a project shrouded in complete secrecy. What makes this laboratory particularly concerning is the involvement of Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, the notorious mad scientist whose history of unethical experiments and resurrection attempts has left a trail of chaos throughout Salem's history. Dr. Rolf's return signals that whatever is being planned goes far beyond conventional medical researches is the kind of twisted science that has previously resulted in personality transplants, cloning attempts, and even efforts to bring the dead back to life. The laboratory will witness Dr. Mark Green and Dr. Rolf beginning their collaborative work on what insiders are calling an umbrella storyline massive plot that will connect multiple character arcs and family dramas in the coming weeks. This isn't just a simple medical trial. This represents the launch of a sci-fi experiment that could involve the mysterious figure that viewers have glimpsed in a giant test tube within the laboratory's depths. Speculation is running rampant that this could be connected to a DiMera family member, potentially even an attempt to resurrect or recreate the legendary patriarch Stefano DiMera himself. Though Joseph Mascolo, who immortalized the Phoenix character, passed away years ago, the show's history suggests that Dr. Rolf may have developed new and improved methods to bring Stefano back in some form. The mad scientist previously succeeded in implanting Stefano's essence into Steve Johnson through microchip technology. And he even attempted to create a Stefano clone embryo that he wanted Kayla Brady to carry as a surrogate. Susan's cryptic warning. Susan Banks, E.J.'s spiritually attuned mother, has urgent questions and a spine-chilling warning for her son. Known for her psychic abilities and connection to the supernatural realm, Susan delivers information that will shake E.J. to his core, something about Stefano DiMera not having properly crossed over to the other side. Her maternal instincts are screaming that something is terribly wrong with whatever plan E.J. has set in motion. Susan's quirky yet often accurate spiritual insights have proven valuable in the past, and when she expresses concern about matters involving the dead and the living, it's wise to pay attention. The conversation between mother and son will be tense, with Susan trying to guide E.J. away from a dangerous path while he remains committed to his secretive agenda. Her warnings about Stefano's spirit and the consequences of tampering with forces beyond human understanding add a supernatural dimension to the already disturbing scientific experiments taking place in the hidden laboratory. Kayla's growing suspicions. Dr. Kayla Brady, one of Salem's most respected medical professionals, begins to piece together alarming information after an encounter with Dr. Mark Green. Kayla had placed considerable trust in Mark, even advocating for him professionally at the hospital. However, recent events involving the fake Abigail DiMera scandal have left her questioning her judgment and wondering what else she might have missed. Her medical expertise and keen observational skills are now focused on E.J. DiMera, and she's starting to suspect that the district attorney is involved in something deeply unethical. Kayla's investigation could lead her to discover the existence of the shady laboratory and the questionable allocation of resources and funding that E.J. has been orchestrating. As someone who was once an unwilling participant in Dr. Rolf's twisted experiments when he tried to implant a Stefano clone embryo into her womb, Kayla has every reason to be vigilant about the mad scientist's activities. Her growing suspicions about the connection between E.J., Mark Green, and potentially Dr. Rolf could blow the entire conspiracy wide open. The connection between Mark's involvement with the fake Abigail situation and whatever is happening in E.J.'s laboratory suggests a much larger conspiracy that extends beyond simple deception. Mark's medical skills are now being utilized for purposes that likely cross ethical boundaries, particularly if the laboratory is indeed experimenting with Versix and conducting clinical trials that haven't been properly approved or disclosed. Kayla's determination to uncover the truth puts her on a collision course with powerful forces that will do anything to keep their secrets buried. Rachel's dangerous scheme. Young Rachel Black takes center stage in what could become a life-threatening situation when she confronts her father Brady and Sarah Horton after catching them in what appears to be an intimate embrace at the hospital. Rachel's jealousy and possessive behavior toward her father have been escalating, and she views any woman showing interest in Brady as a direct threat to their father-daughter relationship. Having recently read online about Sarah suffering an allergic reaction to a sweet bit scone made with pistachio milk, Rachel's devious mind hatches a bright, but ultimately dastardly plan. The troubled young girl has a history of targeting women in her father's life, and she previously inspired Thomas DeMera to take action against Cat Green, demonstrating her manipulative capabilities despite her age. The confrontation that follows will force Brady and Sarah to insist that nothing romantic is happening between them and that they are merely friends. However, Rachel's suspicions won't be easily dismissed, especially given the genuine connection that has been developing between Brady and Sarah in recent weeks. What makes this situation particularly dangerous is that Rachel appears to have deliberately triggered Sarah's severe nut allergy, potentially by adding pistachios to an ice cream sundae or dessert that Sarah consumes. The consequences are immediate and terrifying. Zara begins struggling to catch her breath and goes into full anaphylactic shock, a medical emergency that could prove fatal without immediate intervention. Brady's horror and anger when he realizes what his daughter has done will create a devastating moment for their relationship. The question, "Rachel, what did you do?" will hang in the air as medical professionals rush to save Sarah's life. This crisis could also trigger traumatic memories for Rachel, potentially bringing back suppressed recollections of the EJ shooting incident that she witnessed. While spoilers confirm that Sarah will ultimately survive after receiving prompt medical attention, the chaos and emotional fallout from this event will reverberate through multiple families. Rachel will have to face serious consequences for her actions, and the question of whether she deliberately caused the allergic reaction or if it was somehow accidental will need to be answered. Sophia's mysterious visitor. At Bayview, the catatonic Sophia Choi remains trapped in her silent world, barely responsive to anyone or anything around her. Her amnesia and complete withdrawal from reality have left her family and friends desperate for any sign of breakthrough. Aaron Green, her former classmate and potential secret connected to her past, makes the journey to Bayview with hope in his heart that he can somehow reach through the fog surrounding Sophia's mind. The young man's arrival at the psychiatric facility represents more than just a friendly visitor. Are shocking secrets waiting to be uncovered about their relationship and what really happened during that fateful evening they spent together months ago. Aaron's attempt to pull Sophia out of her current situation is complicated by the fact that she isn't speaking to anyone and shows minimal signs of awareness. The question of whether Sophia's amnesia is genuine or represents some form of psychological protective mechanism remains unanswered. When Aaron appears at her bedside, viewers will be watching closely to see if his familiar face and voice can penetrate the walls she has erected around herself. What Aaron doesn't realize yet is that he may be more connected to Sophia's current predicament than he ever imagined. The paternity of Sophia's unborn child has been assumed to be Tate Black's, but the timeline of events and the emotional aftermath of their breakup suggests a different possibility entirely. Flashbacks reveal that after Tate crushed and humiliated Sophia by calling out his ex-girlfriend's name during their intimate moment and then dumping her, a heartbroken Sophia encountered Aaron at Horton Square. Both were drowning their sorrow, Sophia over her romantic disaster and Aaron over the shocking revelations about his brother's arrest, discovering his presumed dead sister was alive, and learning his mother had also survived. In a moment of shared vulnerability, they decided to spend the evening together, and viewers never learned the full details of what transpired between them that night. Aaron subsequently left Salem to visit his mother in Vancouver just before the holidays, which coincidentally was right before Sophia discovered she was pregnant. If Aaron is indeed the biological father of Sophia's baby, this revelation would explode the current narrative and create maximum drama for everyone involved, especially if this truth comes to light at the worst possible moment. Laboratory mysteries deepen. The mysterious figure floating in the giant test tube within EJ's laboratory has become the subject of intense speculation throughout Salem. Is this container holding a DeMera family member in some form of suspended animation, or is it part of Dr. Rolf's latest attempt to create life through his unconventional scientific methods? The first official experiment being conducted in this new facility carries enormous implications for the future of multiple families in Salem. Mark Green's medical expertise is being exploited for purposes that extend far beyond conventional treatment, possibly involving the experimental drug Versix that has been mentioned in connection with his mother Katerina's early-onset dementia. However, the question remains whether Versix is being studied for legitimate therapeutic purposes or for more nefarious applications that could have devastating consequences. Dr. Rolfe's involvement virtually guarantees that ethical boundaries will be crossed and that the pursuit of scientific achievement will override concerns about morality, consent, and safety. His obsession with bringing Stefano Demera back from death has driven him to attempt increasingly desperate and dangerous procedures over the years. The fact that Rafa Hernandez has been discussing Stefano's Phoenix nickname and explaining to Cat Green how Stefano died but was thought to be alive, inspiring Dr. Rolfe's resurrection attempts, suggests that history may be repeating itself. When Steve Johnson's microchip containing Stefano's personality was destroyed, it seemed like the end of that particular nightmare. But Dr. Rolfe has likely spent the intervening years developing new and improved methods to achieve his ultimate goal. Kayla Brady's interruption of what appears to be a father-daughter moment between EJ and Rachel adds another layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. Her timing and presence suggest that she may be actively investigating EJ's activities and getting dangerously close to uncovering secrets that powerful people want to remain hidden. The web of connections between EJ's laboratory, Mark Green's involvement, Dr. Rolfe's experiments, and the various family dramas playing out across Salem is about to tighten dramatically, pulling numerous characters into a storyline that will have far-reaching consequences for months to come. This explosive episode sets the stage for revelations that will shake Salem to its foundation as scientific ambition collides with family loyalty, young love turns dangerous, and the past refuses to stay buried where it belongs.